head and come together. So stand up. Let us not sit down and look. To Baba say so.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
No sit down look.
Make una no sit down look oh.
The report where they reach us.
National Executive Committee APC resolves to advance its presidential primary. We affect the change. And National Assembly John Adams in Lagos, Vivian S. President Muhammadu Buhari has made a strong case
by the National Assembly for its personnel cost. Fees charged for services rendered to holders of fee of licenses, permits, or other authorizations. Income derived from publications produced by the Commission. Fees for services rendered to non-petroleum producing companies and services companies. Grants, loans, grants in aid, or grant of land from communities for facilities. The one Mr. President has objection to is such money, which shall be 10% of the revenue generated by the Commission for the government of the Federation, as may be determined and appropriated to the Commission by the National Assembly. Mr. President is of the opinion that since there are other sources of funding, and since they are producing and working on petroleum for the entire country, and the entire 3 tiers of government, federal government, state government, the Federal Capital Territory, and all the area councils and local government depend on this money to fund their budget and other things, that agency taking 10%, that is a whole 10%, that it will be, is too high. The same reservations he has for the Petroleum Equalization Fund, because that one provides in part 4 of the bill that they will have 5% of the entire fuel consumption in the country. And Mr. President considers that this is tax on the entire, this is too much to take from the entire federation, money of the federation, and that this will be still cost on the Nigerian people, and that no institution should be made to be richer or having, that is my word, almost richer than the entire government. And of course, finally, there is the Fiscal Responsibility Act. The Fiscal Responsibility Act 2007 has provided how all agencies, whether they exist in the schedule or not, if you are a government-owned agency, there is how you are to be, how you are to have your funds. And in my personal opinion, okay, I wouldn't express my opinion, but this matter is also governed by the Fiscal Responsibility Act, and by the time, but how do we solve it? How we are going to solve it is that we normally have our channel, the back channel, which we relate with the legislature informally, and we are going to do the process started. But since the legislature proceeded on vacation before the time of the process was concluded, and Mr. President, if he kept the bill beyond 29th of July, it would have lapsed on his desk. It was lawful for this to be communicated, for the withholding of assent to be communicated. Right. But it is not the entirety of the bill that has been rejected. And when these are worked on and harmonized and agreed with the executive team, Mr. President will reconsider it.
Thank you, Senator Ita Enang, for those clarifications.
Thank you very much.
Moving on, President Muhammadu Buhari will on Friday depart for China to participate in the 7th summit of the Forum on China-Africa Cooperation, FOCAC, scheduled to hold from September 3rd in Beijing. A statement by Garuba Shehu, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, says the President's first engagement in Beijing will be an interactive session with the Nigerian community in China at the Nigerian embassy. He says President Buhari, in his capacity as current chairman of ECOWAS, is expected to make remarks at the high-level dialogue between Chinese and African leaders, business representatives and African entrepreneurs. The Nigerian president is scheduled to join President Xi Jinping and other African leaders for the opening and roundtable sessions of the 2018 FOCAC Beijing Summit on the theme Towards an Even Stronger China-Africa Community with a Shared Future. After the FOCAC Summit, President Buhari will hold bilateral meetings with President Xi Jinping and Prime Minister Li Keqiang to discuss infrastructure financing for strategic projects in Nigeria and the upgrading of Nigeria-China relations from strategic partnership to comprehensive strategic partnership. The president will also use the opportunity of his audience with the Chinese leadership to assess the progress made so far in Chinese interventions in Nigeria's key priority infrastructure projects, particularly ongoing projects in the railway and power sectors. Now, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has warned the people of Nigeria against bowing to provocation of any kind from those he says are bent on destroying the country. The Vice President, in his sermon at the 2018 National Last Days Gathering of the Calvary Ministries in Karachi, Abuja, implores Christians and Muslims alike not to relent in preaching peace and love for humanity. State House correspondent Jide Onifade reports.
It's a great burden to forgive and love those who have committed heinous crimes against us, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo says, while explaining that the attacks on worship centers and communities are all parts of the challenge the people would have to face, stressing that these attacks must not be enough to deter them from showing love to even their enemies.
It's an incredible responsibility. It's an incredible burden. And we must never allow anyone to make it seem as if the way out of what we're seeing is by behaving like those who already want us to behave in that way.
The focus of the sermon is on the role of the people in dealing with the darkness that confronts them. He explains that the government is already carrying out its role of ensuring that there is adequate security for all, and that the people should refuse to be misled into carrying out vengeance against those persecuting them.
If somehow we are led to believe that those for whom Christ died, those for whom so many missionaries have lost their lives, preaching to, spreading the gospel to them, if somehow we are persuaded, especially from the pulpit, that they are our enemies, then surely the darkness has come.
The last day gathering of the Calvary Ministries is a meeting aimed at ensuring continuous discipleship in the church. Papers presented include Christians' response to violence and persecution, and one by Johnny Doko, which describes Ishmael, the fourth child of Abraham, as a brother and not an enemy. In Abuja, Jide Onifade, NTA News.
The young aspirants under the ages of the Not Too Young to Run movement have urged political parties to ensure that the cost of nomination forms is affordable. They made the request during a meeting with Senate President Bukola Saraki and other leaders of the People's Democratic Party in Abuja. Ignatius Onkwo was there.
Meeting was basically to dialogue with leadership of the People's Democratic Party on some challenges facing the operationalization of the Not Too Young to Run bill signed into law by President Muhammadu Buhari in May this year. The constitution amendment, which has produced more than 1,000 aspirants for elective positions ahead of the 2019 general election so far, has some hurdles.
You have the issues of, we like seeing women running, but you're not going to get it. You get appointment.
The cost of nomination form. Like how they waive for the women that they are going to give it free, we are not saying that they should give it us free. Let them reduce it.
The national chairman of PDP, Uche Secondos, reassured them of a fair playing ground.
The sales of form, we've listened to you. We will go and we'll see what we can do to further reduce the burdens on the youth.
The issue of the too young to run this election, we are going to test run it for the first time during this election. So don't expect 100% success.
And we're only interested in creating a platform for leaders of political parties and aspirants to meet. We will be doing this same dialogue with other political parties as well, because we have young people who are running in other parties.
The Senate President Bukola Saraki used the occasion to make a major pronouncement.
I have decided to answer the call of teaming youth who have asked me to run for president. I hereby announce my intention to run for the office of the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria in the coming elections in 2019 on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. I do this with a firm conviction that I have what it takes to secure inclusive growth for Nigeria and Nigerians.
Saraki assured the youth that he would deliver on all his promises. In Abuja, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Report just reaching us from Ilorin, Kwara State indicates that the people of Kayama still have faith in the All Progressives Congress APC and support the re-election bid of President Muhammadu Buhari at a rousing reception organized in honor of Special Advisor to the Kwara State Governor Abdullahi Haidu Dambaba for not defecting to the PDP alongside the State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed. The community said the governing APC at the center is doing a lot to improve the well-being of Nigerians. They described Alhaji Dambaba as a courageous son of Kayama who is doing the bidding of his people by keeping faith with the APC. Details of this report will be brought to you in our subsequent bulletins. Ahead on the news tonight, Nigerian media challenged on the need to deepen democracy through professionalism. Details when we return.
Yo, they call us small fish in a big pond, but lights, camera, action, and we go beyond. This is our time, we on MTN and Pulse. No, we refuse, so now we can wave our banner. Yo, get ready for what we have to offer from Texas boys. We got it on M-Pulse. I say science. We got it on M-Pulse. Silence again. We got it on M-Pulse. M-Pulse. The stage is set, so let's own it. They say be this, they say be that, but all we want to be is just us, man. Facts.
Play, explore, and learn with MTN M-Pulse.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Admissions for 2018-2019 academic session is ongoing. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
The Ministry of Commerce and Industry, Enugu State, congratulates the 200 winners of the 6th monthly raffle draw of the second phase of the Enugu State Traders Empowerment Scheme, held simultaneously across 54 designated markets in the state on Tuesday, August 28, 2018. The empowerment program is aimed at assisting traders in the state to grow their businesses irrespective of their state of origin, religion, and ethnicity. A total of 2,400 traders have so far benefited from the scheme since its inception in 2017. This milestone achievement is in keeping with the state government's promise to deploy government services to create fair and equal opportunity for every willing citizen to make a living and create wealth, educate our children, and enjoy life in a peaceful and secured environment. Enugu State is truly in the hands of God. Announcer Sam Ogunwobodo, Honorable Commissioner for Commerce and Industry.
The Honorable Minister of State, Mines and Steel Development, Honorable Abubakar Bawa Buhari, cordially invites all metallurgical industry operators, chief executives, captains of industry, the academia, all other metal sector stakeholders, and the general public to the Nigerian Metallurgical Industry Stakeholders Forum. Theme: Nigeria's economic growth, industrialization through value addition in the metal sector. Date: Tuesday 4th to Wednesday 5th September 2018. Venue: NAF Conference Center, Jabi, Abuja. Time 8 a.m. daily. Dr. Abdul Kadir Mohazu, announcer.
The smartphone network.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I was so excited to sing in the choir.
And your shirts are always so white.
I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me. It's Jik, of course. The original trusted bleach, which can be used all around your house for amazing results.
Shh, it's our little secret.
It's no secret. It's Jik's best ever extra whitening power. Just Jik it.
Do you know that the Nigerian police now operates in the best international practices of policing? Do you know that the Nigerian police has been restructured to be more accountable and responsive to all your security challenges? Now, what the police demand from you is your trust, your collaborative efforts by providing necessary information about criminals and their activities in your neighborhood. Be vigilant to achieve our creed as we promise. We shall police the country based on international core values of policing with integrity. We shall ensure that rule of law prevails in our actions and activities. We shall respect diversity, display courage, show compassion, and demonstrate professionalism. We shall operate within the principle of democratic policing. We shall shun corruption, and we shall make Nigeria safer and secured under the leadership of IGP Ibrahim Otum Idris.
Let the wind of change blowing across the country chase away crime for the benefit of our society. Yes, the Nigerian police says this change must come with peace and tranquility.
This message was brought to you by the Public Relations Department of the Nigerian Police Force.
Thank you for staying with us on the Network News. The National Assembly Joint Committee on the Electoral and Political Parties Matters has reduced by over 200 million naira the project's proposal for 2019 general elections. This brings the figure down to 143.3 billion as against 143.5 billion proposed by President Muhammadu Buhari. National Assembly correspondent Lamia Ali reports.
The total package of the budget proposal for 2019 general elections submitted by the President and Independent National Electoral Commission to the National Assembly stood at 189.2 billion naira. The Senate and House Joint Committee, however, at the commencement of meetings to harmonize the budget, adopted the proposal from the Presidency amounting to over 143.5 billion, which is to be vied under the 2018 budget.
Subsequently, after exhaustive deliberation, the committee reviewed the INEC budget to 143,312,256,955 naira 13 kobo, signifying a reduction of 200,272,500 naira. The committee is suggesting to the leadership of the National Assembly, the Committee on Appropriation, to source the funding of this budget through virement from other service-wide votes under the Special Intervention Program recurrent to ease the consideration and avoid increase in the size of the 2018 expenditure framework.
The additional proposal from INEC, which stood at over 45 billion naira, will in the meantime be funded from 2019 budget as requested by the President. The Joint Committee believes the conclusion of this stage of the consideration will effectively position the Independent National Electoral Commission to deliver a hitch-free, fair and credible election. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
Now, political parties in the country have been called upon to create an enabling environment for women to participate more actively in the political process. This was at an advocacy summit for women political aspirants in Abuja. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
Without doubt, hope for affirmative action is rekindled here as President Muhammadu Buhari joins in solidarity the Advocacy Summit for Women Political Aspirants. And it was an opportunity for the Nigerian leader to not only recall, but once again thank the Nigerian women for massively voting for him in 2015.
Politicians rely on women voters because their word is usually their bond. Nigerian women get the confidence in me and voted for me in 2015. It is my hope that the confidence is still there. Seeing this gathering, I am also confident that it means so.
On the concerns raised by women about the delay in the passage of the Gender and Equal Opportunity Bill now before the National Assembly, as well as the implementation of 35% affirmative action, the President reassured the women of his total support as the measures, he said, will improve the representation of women in politics.
Let me add my voice on the call on women to contest for political offices and effect the changes they want to see. I am confident that women can make great leaders and move the nation forward.
President Muhammadu Buhari told the gathering that the challenges inherited in 2015 have given way to dividends which can only translate to better infrastructure, more jobs, and more food on the tables of Nigerians. The Advocacy Summit for Women Political Aspirants was put together by the National Council of Women Societies, Women in Politics Forum, and the National Council for Women Development in collaboration with the Office of the Wife of the President. In Abuja, Adamu Sambo, NTA News.
Meanwhile, women from different parts of Nigeria converged on Abuja to chart a course for increased participation in the democratic process to better their lot preparatory to 2019 and beyond. The gathering, which cuts across political divide, is at the instance of the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, and other women groups. Momso Damian Dati reports.
One after the other, in groups and clusters, the women trooped to the National Center for Women Development, venue of the event. Not even the heavy rain could hinder them or the wife of the president from attending such an august event that will change their lives for good. Together in this hall are wives of governors, traditional rulers, security operatives, representatives of INEC and various political parties, members of the international community, lovers of democracy, and aspiring female politicians irrespective of political parties. The aim is to set an agenda, strategize and liaise with relevant stakeholders towards giving women a viable platform to prove their worth in 2019 and beyond.
I appeal to all political parties to recognize the hard work of our women who have contributed immensely to our success. Let 2019 be a reality for Nigerian women aspirants in the upcoming general elections. And let's have more women candidates in the ballot papers. Women can no longer afford to be absent where key decisions affecting their lives are made.
So much is in you and so much you can offer. You have to give confidence to yourself but you need to be a partner to each other, because that if you do not support your fellow women, you should know that men are your competitors in this race now.
National chairman of the APC, Adams Oshomode, and other speakers said already a conducive environment is being created for women to thrive.
We will surely gather again to do an appraisal of the process of women after the party primary elections.
The participation of women in the affairs of political party has been transformed to real opportunity as to allow them to participate effectively in government.
This Women Political Aspirants Advocacy Summit has no doubt re-energized and opened wide the doors for women politicians to soar beyond any set barriers. Momso Damien Ati, NTA News.
In another development, wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, has continued to advocate for more women participation in politics and other decision-making processes in order to achieve gender balancing and prosperous Nigeria. Mrs. Buhari stated this when she received an audience women leaders of All Progressives Congress APC in the Southeast Nigeria under the auspices of Southeast Women for Buhari. State House correspondent Aliyu Kabir reports.
These are the leaders of over 5 million APC women in the southeastern part of Nigeria, comprising states of Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Imo, and Enugu, tagged Southeast Women for Buhari. They comprise zonal, states, local governments, and wards coordinators, paying a solidarity visit on the wife of the president, Aisha Muhammadu Buhari, while congratulating the wife of the president for the doctorate degree conferred on her in Korea. The wife of Imo State Governor Nkechi Okorocha, who led the group, said the quality leadership role by President Muhammadu Buhari in transforming the fortunes of this country to a better nation and the desire for continuity in the good job, as well as giving maximum support towards achieving that, was the motive behind their visit.
We have more than 5 million women who are today card-carrying members of APC from the Southeast, who are waiting for the day of election to go there and make sure that we vote for Buhari. Not only are there, with the 5 million we are talking about, we have so many who are just there waiting for us to call them to come and join us in what we're doing.
While acknowledging their effort in pushing forward the issues of women development and their concerns for grassroots mobilization towards a credible election in future polls, the wife of the president emphasized on the need for women to rise up to their challenge, taking into cognizance the supremacy of party constitution and the constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
I want to call on you to entrench unity and dialogue among your members as elections are around the corner, so that we can beat our own record and return APC to continue the good work that it is doing for Nigeria.
Critical stakeholders on gender issues and women development have identified themselves with the wife of the president in advancing the cause of women in Nigeria. The Southeast Women for Buhari have expressed confidence in the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, saying that they will continue to support his policies and programs in order to achieve a greater nation and a better future for all Nigerians. From the State House, Aliyu Kabir, NTA News.
The need for broadcast organizations in Nigeria to adhere fully to broadcast standard and code has been re-echoed in order to foster a democratic society in the country, especially as the 2019 elections draw near. This was at the 4th annual lecture of the National Broadcasting Commission held in Abuja. Adebola Bruskley Sunday reports. We apologize for the loss of audio in that report. Lagos, the center of excellence, is our first stop on network news tonight, and Hengino is our guide. Hengino, take it away.
Thank you, Kenneth, for joining us in Lagos. Barely 24 hours to the expiration of the 2 weeks extension of voter registration across the country by the Independent National Electoral Commission. INEC and prospective voters have besieged the various registration centers in Lagos. Ken Egbeluge, who monitored the exercise in the state, reports that there are still long queues in all the centers visited.
I'm in INEC office in Surulere. Here with me is Mr. Oche. He wanted to tell us his experience on the exercise.
I told if we have to get the PVC today, we have to come very early. So I got here 2 a.m. today.
They've been pushing us, we've been trying to, everything is just disorganized.
It has been tales of woe from prospective voters. They pushed and struggled their way just to get to the point of registration. And for those who were able to succeed, it was a thing of joy.
My number is 67, so finally.
They were pushing me here and there, but finally they said I should come and newly be registered.
This is the plight of many prospective voters across the state. As this exercise winds up, the Lagos State INEC Public Relations Officer, Mr. Femi Akimbi, said the exercise has recorded huge success.
We've been able to register over 777 people, new one, in Lagos State.
He further spoke concerning those who have relocated.
No, the process, you just go to the new center, to the local government or center where you want to vote with your permanent voter's card, and then you fill a form seamlessly, and then they will transfer it.
As the exercise eventually comes to an end across the country, observers of the view that INEC needs to rectify some of the lapses experienced and improve upon them in subsequent exercises. In Lagos, Ken Egbeluge, NTA News.
The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has assured Nigerians of continuous improvement in its operations. Director General of the agency, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, at a forum with journalists said NAFDAC has been restructured for better customer service delivery. Paul Omukago has details.
It was a gathering of stakeholders in the food, drugs, water and beverage value chain as the Director General of NAFDAC, Professor Mojisola Adeyeye, rolled out milestone feats in the last 1 year. These include creation of 6 directorates, one in each of the 6 geopolitical zones, the return of NAFDAC to the ports, thereby forestalling proliferation of substandard and falsified imported drugs and other controlled substances. Post-marketing surveillance, Professor Adeyeye stated, is yet another feat recorded.
We think of the customer first, and you are the customers, but we have greater customers, the population. We have to be agency-minded. How do the public see us?
Stakeholders alluded to the remarkable improvement of the operations of the agency in recent times, particularly the removal of middlemen in the form of consultants and prompt response to applications for registrations.
NAFDAC really, hid into what we talk about every time, ease of doing business.
I want us to work closely together to be able to put everybody in the same page.
The briefing by the Director General is the first under the current management. In Lagos, Paul Omukago, NTA News.
You're still watching NTA Network News. More reports ahead after this timeout. Please stay with us.
How is Atlanta? I'm just getting ready for a photo shoot. Got my makeup on.
Hey Klaus, how you doing? How is Germany?
Hold on, 1 minute.
I haven't seen the containers yet. Oh, they are still in India.
Hello, Mama. Guess who's online?
Hey Rajesh, what time is it in India?
How is South Africa, Mama?
Aren't you spending too much on calls now?
Don't you worry about it, Mama, because with Glow, you only need to pay 200 Naira a month and you get up to 85% discount on all calls to over 200 international destinations.
See, I'm going to let you guys sort this out,
now.
All right?
Time for the photo shoot. Love you. Bye.
Where's the photographer?
Hey, my friend. How are things going in Canada?
Glow International Call Slasher. Pay 200 Naira monthly fee to get up to 85% discount to call over 200 international destinations. Dial *777# to choose your plan. The largest data network. Glow. Grandmasters of data.
Come on, boys. Come on. Pick up this guy. Yeah, that's it. Fall back. Fall back. Oh, this boys.
TomTom refreshes and sharpens your senses, making you come alive.
with TomTom.
Give me the value pack. Helen!
You do great value shopping.
Absolutely. I'm a champion at getting value.
Then you must have bought the Harpic 200 ml.
Why Harpic when I have this?
Even after applying them 10 times, they won't give a sparkling clean toilet.
Impossible.
Challenge. Detergent and bleach can't give a sparkling clean toilet even after 10 times. But Harpic 200 ml gives a sparkling clean toilet at one go.
Wow.
Harpic 200 ml. Real deal. Now only 200 naira.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the daring and invincible Louis the Mosquito. Responsible for 200 malaria cases all on its own. Is there anything that can kill Louis? Morphine! Presenting Mortise Power Guard. Its powerful formula kills malaria mosquitoes fast. So, get Mortise Power Guard.
I've got something for you. Clorets is the only gum that eliminates odors, giving you real fresh breath.
Winning in hot and dry conditions is hard. Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another. What keeps you so cool, man? Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool.
Dettol, sir.
Welcome back. The All Progressives Congress receives defectors at Opobo. Vivian brings us details from Port Harcourt Network Center.
Hello, Kene. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. Tragedy struck in the early hours of today along the Air Force Elios Road in Port Harcourt as a petroleum tanker involved in a traffic accident went up in flame and destroyed property of business owners within the area worth millions of naira. Kingsley Amajiri, who visited the scene, reports that no life was lost.
Eyewitnesses say the incident occurred around 5 a.m. when they heard the sound of the explosion from the falling petroleum tanker loaded with substance.
I just heard a sound. Boom! The next thing, I jumped out inside the shop. I was sleeping. So when I just ran out, what I see fire. I couldn't be able to pick anything.
Immediately, I put up a call to SPDC, called State Fire Service. Almost 2 hours I've been at IA Gate and my building is burning. The fire service, all what they are telling me, they are coming, they are coming, they are coming, they are coming. They did not respond as they are expected to respond.
Investigation, however, revealed that the tanker driver, yet to be identified, may have lost control while on speed. And for some concerned stakeholders, there is need for the authorities concerned to ensure that speed limiters are put on this route.
So government should do something by at least creating a traffic sign and speed bump before the bending corners.
Well, we actually agree that yes, there's need for road sign to be mounted on the roads. The drivers should learn to be a little bit more careful.
Officials of the Red Cross, River State Fire Service and the Federal Road Safety Corps told NTA News that no life was lost as they made efforts to put the situation under control. As at the time of this report, the fallen tanker constituted a challenge to the free flow of traffic in the area. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
Well, that's the much we can take from Port Harcourt. Let's join Jumai in Maiduguri for the continuation of the network news. Hello, Jumai.
A very warm welcome to Maiduguri. Economic activities are at a standstill in most parts of southern Borno following the collapse of the only bridge along the axis in Briel by a local government due to heavy downpour causing massive flooding. Abubakar Mohammed Musa reports that the collapsed bridge is also among washout locations. Federal Ministry of Power, Works and Housing directed immediate remedial works to be carried out on.
At the proposed site of the Earth Dam, the governor was briefed on arrival by the Commissioner for Reconstruction, Rehabilitation and Resettlement, Professor Babagana Umar Zulum, on the possibility, viability and capacity of the proposed Earth Dam, adding that when completed, the Earth Dam will put an end to the acute water scarcity being experienced by Pulka community. Governor Kashim Shettima commended the initiative and called on the UNICEF representative and the head of UN agencies, Ambassador Edwin Callon, for a joint effort to actualize the project. Governor Kashim Shettima was also in Pulka, Goza and Goshe, where he laid foundation for building 500 housing units and 250 in Goza, the headquarters of the local government.
Pulka has 94,000 people with limited water resources.
The governor commended President Muhammadu Buhari for giving special consideration to Borno in addressing the lots of the people. The commanding officer for 47 Brigade Pulka said attacks and other Boko Haram activities in the area have drastically reduced, adding that government can return those living around and behind the mountain to their localities as these areas are now safe for habitation. In Maiduguri, Maimuna Garba, NTA News.
We apologize for that mix-up. Borno State government, in collaboration with the United Nations agencies, will soon embark on construction of a dam to harvest rainwater to end the perennial water problem of Pulka community. Governor Kashim Shettima disclosed this in Pulka while inspecting the proposed borrow pit site for conversion into earth dam and also laid foundation for the construction of houses. Maimuna Garba reports.
Thank you, Jermaine. There's much we can take from Maiduguri. You're watching NTA Network News. Sport is next on our lineup after this timeout.
Aim is visiting schools to teach children how to protect themselves from diseases. Do you know how we get illnesses like diarrhea, cough, and cold? No! They are spread through germs which are everywhere. You collect germs that cause diseases. You pick up germs from any surface, like when you don't wash your hands after going to the toilet, while playing. And then you can get sick because of germs. That's why you need to fight germs to stay healthy by washing your hands and taking your bath with Dettol soap to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Wash, wash, wash your hands. What you have to do is bath, bath, bath yourself. Dettol soap every day. Wash, wash, wash your hands.
Golden Eaglets end preparations in Abuja ahead of CAF Under-17 AFCON qualifier as Williams' sisters set to meet at the US Open. Ayodeji Makinde has more on Sports Update.
Golden Eaglets will depart Nigeria Friday to participate in the 2019 CAF Under-17 AFCON West B region qualifiers scheduled to begin in Niger Republic over the weekend. Head coach Manu Garuba says after 6 weeks in camp, the team is ready to make up for not qualifying for the last edition in 2017 by coming out tops in the 7-team regional tournament. The Under-17 AFCON serves as qualifiers for the 2019 FIFA